So there's a trend that's been going on for the past few years, and it's of children choosing to go no contact with their parents. This video is interesting because here you have a daughter right here asking her mother to put whatever she has to say in writing because she doesn't want to talk to her. The only problem is the daughter lives in the mother's house. This is interesting. I have my thoughts. Let's listen to what she has to say.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Writing.
Put what in writing?
What your wishes are.
I don't know.
My boundary is
my wishes are
no
that
contact
you leave.
since you
my,
are.
my wishes are either I leave or you leave. These are my wishes. So how is that going to be executed? Because you said no contact. I respect your no contact. But I'm not going to keep walking around in a space where somebody does not want to have no contact with me. That doesn't make sense. Why would you want to be in a space with somebody that you don't want to have no contact with? The person that you don't want to have no contact with is saying, hey, let's sit down because I'm going to respect your wishes and let's sit down and create a plan that's going to expedite so that there is no contact. Because our relationship prior to you posting all those videos, we were hanging out, doing things. Were there issues? Yes, but we were still talking to each other, watching movies together, walking George together. So this type of energy, this type of behavior.
Look at how she's standing over here like a brat. I'm sorry. You heard the mother there say, all of a sudden, now that you've been posting these videos, before these videos, we were hanging out, we were spending time together. But now that you've cut me off and you're going no contact and you're following the trends online, you want me to give you everything I have to say in writing. I truly believe that this whole trend and everything that follows after it is just a result of a soft generation. The same people who are unable to do with truth are not able to cooperate with someone else in a relationship. They're the ones who are really championing this whole cutting their parents off and going no contact. Now, are there some toxic parents out there who deserve this? I'm sure they are. However, I'm seeing this a lot, especially from the women, and they all look like this, right? Sitting there, you're not in your actual house and you want to go no contact with the parent who's still paying your bills. This just screams entitled to me.
It's unfortunate, but I don't want to be in a household with someone that does not want to have contact with me.
Kick her out.
And I'm sure you don't either. You want to be in a household with someone that you don't want to have contact with. My mature, responsible response is let's have a sit down and discuss how we're going to execute dissolving this so that if there is any possibility for this relationship to mend itself back together, maybe that can start happening. Because I'm no longer fighting your not wanting to be around me or not wanting to have contact with me. I'm not doing that anymore. What I'm doing now is listening to what you're saying and so that we can move forward. So
she thinks she's getting abused right now, by the way.
Asking you is, when can we have a sit down to discuss executing that resolution? No contact, not being in the same space. That's all.
Writing.
Put what in.
Wild.
Let's take a quick moment here to thank the sponsor of our channel, fathershaverights.com. In our prenup guide of fathershaverights.com, one of our expert attorneys explains it clearly. When you get married, your upside might be infinite. A great marriage is a beautiful and wonderful thing, not just for you, but for the family that you plan to build with your future wife. But without a prenup, your downside is also infinite, meaning there is no limit to your losses. That's why you need a prenuptial agreement. And although a prenup cannot protect you from things like custody or child support, what a prenup can do is set clear expectations inside the marriage, which often reduces false expectations and discourages divorce in the first place because both parties know what's at stake. If you're engaged, proposing, or soon to be married, click the link pinned to the top of the comment section and join the hundreds of men securing their future marriages the right way.
I think this is also part of the problem of not having a father in the home because she's doing all this talking when she really should just be showing this daughter of hers the door. That's just the honest truth. This whole like cutting my parents off and they're to blame for the problems I have. Get out of here with all that. I think people are just too soft, and that's exactly what's happening here. And surprisingly, that's the sentiment that I actually seeing with other people who are responding back to this video.
So I came across this video of a young woman that's pushing 40, still living with her mother, telling her that she wants to go low to no contact while living in her mother's house, not working, not in school, not doing a goddamn thing, right? She's labeling her mother as a covert narcissist. So I'm nosy. Look, I went down the rabbit hole, right? I'm going to play you 2 videos and I want you to tell me what you think. The first one is from the daughter. The second is from the mother. Take a watch.
Put what in writing?
What your wishes are.
I don't know.
My boundary is
my
I'm going
wishes are
no
that you
contact
leave.
since you
My wishes are either I leave or you leave. These are my wishes. So how is that going to be executed? Because you said no contact. I respect your no contact. But I'm not going to keep walking around in a space where somebody does not want to have no contact with me. That doesn't make sense. Why would you want to be in a space with somebody that you don't want to have no contact with? The person that you don't want to have no contact with is saying, hey, let's sit down, because I'm going to respect your wishes, and let's sit down and create a plan that's going to expedite this so that there is no contact. Because our relationship prior to you posting all those videos, we were hanging out, doing things. Were there issues? Yes, but we were still talking to each other, watching movies together, walking George together. So this type of energy, this type of behavior, it's unfortunate. But I don't want to be in a household with someone that does not want to have contact with me. And I'm sure you don't either. You want to be in a household with someone that you don't want to have contact with. My mature, responsible response is let's have a sit down and discuss how we're going to execute dissolving this. So that if there is any possibility for this relationship to mend itself back together, maybe that can start happening. Because I'm no longer fighting your not wanting to be around me or not wanting to have contact with me. I'm not doing that anymore. What I'm doing now is listening to what you're saying and so that we can move forward. So what I'm asking you is, when can we have a sit down to discuss executing that resolution? No contact, not being in the same space. I said if you're not in school.
Spirit don't lie. Spirit don't lie.
Yeah, she still has not answered the question. If you're not in school, you can end it all you want to. If you're not in school, you have to go, because you're not going to sit around here and do absolutely nothing. I've been enabling that behavior, and I'm no longer enabling that behavior. Get a job, go to school, and get your life together. That's where I'm at. Because you know what, TikTok, I was sitting here, and you know what? Yesterday, I was accountable. I apologized. I said, hey, this is the things that I started, I enable. But that's the last time I'm going to be saying all of that. I'm done with all that. I done apologized for the last time. I've been accountable for the last time as far as what type of parent I was and how I raised her. That don't have nothing to do with her disrespect and her wanting to drink and drive. As a matter of fact, she told me to take her name off the truck. The only reason that we got the truck in the first place was for her. So the audacity of her to tell me to just take her name off of it, like she can just walk away, wipe her hands, and just walk away from something. Irresponsible. And I am sick of it. I don't know what was rolling in me this morning, but when I woke up, I said, you know what? This right here don't make no kind of sense. And then I started looking at some other videos of parents. And I'm like, you know what? I did the best that I could. I used to try to stay away from that narrative saying that, like a cliche, you did the best that you could. But God dang it, I did the best that I could. And looking at her, and y'all see her, I didn't do too bad. So she wants to call me a covert narcissist because now I'm telling her, hey, you have to be responsible. You have to be accountable. You're no longer going to be walking around here, sliding around here without responsibility. You want to do that? Get a job. If you're not in school, you got to go. That's how I'm rolling, moving forward. That's how it's going to be. The agreement was, you graduate in May, go ahead and focus on your studies, and then after you focus on your studies, then you go secure your job, get your independence, do what you need to do. Oh, but she wants to be disrespectful, right? She thinks she's, what did she say? Public shame. It has nothing to do with that. It is now, what she did was open up my eyes to what I've been doing all this time. And I'm so grateful for that, because she's absolutely right. I have been controlling the situation for way too long. And when you control the situation, you do not allow them the responsibility and the capabilities that they need to take care of themselves. Okay? And so moving forward, today is January the 8th, 2026. She's talking about, am I going to revival? I love going to church. I love revival. That has nothing to do with her being responsible. Absolutely nothing. What I'm telling her, if you're not in school, I will honor the original agreement of you in school, then you graduate in May, then I will take care of whatever the necessities are in this house. But if you're not in school, you have to go. You have to get a job, volunteer, do something. But walking around here, sliding around here, telling me that there's no contact in my house and being disrespectful in my house is no longer going to be tolerated. That's how we're going to do this moving forward. I've asked her, hey, let's sit down and have a discussion. Like I've always asked her, what are your needs? How can we do this? How can we work together on this? But she doesn't want that. You know why? Because she doesn't want it to ever end. Anything that I did in her childhood, she has no intentions of ever forgiving me. She has no intentions of ever letting it go. She has every intention of using it as an excuse to stay stuck, as an excuse to keep calling me a covert narcissist.
You going to revival?
So no matter what I do,
you going to revival?
Now
You
she's
want
gonna
to
ask
talk to a
me.
third party? You want to talk to one of your DDS sisters?
She asked me, "Am I going to revival?
I know it's funny
Are
because
you
it's
in school?"
exposed.
It's funny because you're trying to deflect. That's what you're trying to do.
I send it back to sender. I send it back to sender. Everything that you're doing to me, I send it back to sender.
So she said she sent it back
Are
to
you going
sender.
to revival today? Because revival started yesterday.
I know when revival started, but that has nothing to do with you not being enrolled in school.
Right, so we got that part. Are you going to revival to
Until
get with
listen,
everything that's happening?
you want
Are
to
gonna go
deflect.
revival?
She's screaming and hollering about she's screaming and hollering about me going to
Keep revealing.
revival,
Keep
but
revealing.
she doesn't even keep her commitments. She's not in school. She's not doing her schoolwork. She has, and then what she does is just ignore stuff, just drop it and leave it.
Just because I
irresponsible,
prioritize the safe exit
very,
plan, I know
very
you don't like it.
irresponsible,
All you're doing is
and I'm not
exposing
dealing with
yourself.
it.
But the question is,
I
are you
got
going
the
to
truck.
revival for witnesses? You don't want witnesses?
What does witnesses have to do
You're
with
embarrassed
revival?
about the exposure?
What are you talking about? Me going to revival has what?
started. We plan to go to revival. You're such a loving mom, right? That's Christ fearing and stuff. Are you going to revival?
Didn't you say you were scared to be around me and uncomfortable?
No, I said what you're capable of. But if you're willing to repent,
So you want to go to
and give your life
revival
Jesus,
together, but you want no contact.
If you're willing to repent, I'm all for Jesus and healing. That's what I'm all
Well,
for.
look, you need to apologize. You have been rude, disrespectful, in the drinking and driving. You still haven't apologized for that. So if you want any type of relationship with me, you have to apologize to me.
I have to do something. To go
You
to
sure
church.
do? No. You have to apologize if you think that moving forward there's going to be any relationship between you and
So
I.
I wasn't talking about a relationship. I'm
Well,
talking about
I don't go with people and hang out with people that I don't have a relationship with.
So thank you. So the repentance and the healing for third parties, I don't have to.
You're
do this up.
Mecca, that's
Spirit
a
don't
user.
lie.
That's a
Spirit
user.
Don't lie.
She doesn't want to.
Spirit don't lie.
TikTok.
The embarrassment.
She doesn't want a relationship with me. But she want me to give her a ride to revival.
I didn't ask for a ride. I said if you were a mother that truly your intentions was pure and you were trying to change the narrative and smear my name and make store your line on the whole situation, if that wasn't truly what you were doing and you were this mother that has you have this pure intention that you know you don't have, you would be running to revival. Because it was already pre-planned, but God is doing the revealing. So you think, like I said, you think you're coming up against me, Mom, because I know who you are behind the scenes, and it's so sad to see you continue over and over and over.
You are a manipulator. You are a user.
Send it back to sender.
You are.
Everything that you're saying that I am, you are.
You don't do things that you don't keep your commitments.
Are you going to revival?
That Mecca, you don't keep your commitments. Revival has nothing to do with this conversation.
This is
even if we went to revival, you're not going to change.
You have no intent.
You have no accountability.
Sender, that's you.
So you think going to revival tonight is going to
try to
instantly
rewrite? You're the mature one. You're the mother. Most mothers run to
stop acting like a child.
I'm a grown woman. I've had to mother you all my life.
You've never look. You don't
If
mother
I
me.
didn't go to church, you didn't want to go to church, and God is revealing it. But
Again,
God bless you.
If I don't go to work, bills don't get paid.
Said with love.
If I don't go to work,
when I
everything that you have is because of me and my heart, sweat,
and
blood,
you
sweat,
guess what?
and tears.
You
Not
use it for your
anything.
smear campaign. And
Again,
God is revealing.
you keep talking about
You're
me
not
going to church. That has
because
nothing to
you
do with
don't
it.
want to. You want to keep this cycle of abuse going. You're embarrassed.
I'm not
You're
embarrassed.
exposed. And you don't want to go
It
nowhere.
definitely is
You don't want to go
exposed.
nowhere where nobody could possibly hold you accountable.
Who's gonna hold me accountable?
In a
And half
loving
the people
way.
in church
You don't
probably
want
going through
you
the
don't
same
want to
stuff
go
I'm going
anywhere
through.
where somebody could possibly protect the situation. You don't want that.
No, you don't want it exposed.
And so no, I'm the one that started exposing it.
But you didn't think it was gonna turn
And so no,
the
you
way that
didn't
it
think. I
is.
send it back to sender. Everything you say, that's what you think.
Make up. When the last time
And so God
when the
bless
last time you have been
God bless
responsible
you. All
and
you're
had a
doing is
job?
showing your control.
When the last time you
That
had a
has
job
nothing
and
to do
been
with you
responsible?
hiding from church.
I'm not
All your
hiding from
narrative, all your narrative was used against me. When you
Listen,
were happy,
I woke
maybe
up
you
this
don't
morning
have to work. You don't
TikTokers, and I
have to do
told
anything.
her,
And so
listen,
now you're being revealed.
I no
you
longer
don't want to go to
want to tolerate
revival.
this behavior.
You don't want to go writing.
Put what in writing?
What your wishes are.
I don't.
So I'm all about no contact, 100% all about it. Me and my biological mama have gone contact several times for several years. But, I wasn't living with her. No, you can't go no contact with somebody you in the house with because y'all in the house. And how is that gonna work? Y'all have to talk about bills. Y'all have to talk about groceries. Y'all have to talk about boundaries. How you gonna go no contact in that lady house? I'm confused. I'm with you when you're right, baby, but I don't think that's right.
The reason why so many millennials are going no contact is because we have awareness of information and wisdom that the generations before us just weren't aware of. One of those bits of wisdom is that you are not obligated to your family. Generations before us believed that, oh, you know, that's my mom. Like, I don't care what she does to me. I'm going to be loyal to my mom. Or I only get one mom, so I always got to be nice to her, even though, like, she treats me like shit. And we just understand that you don't have to be kind to anybody that's not kind to you. You don't have to be around anybody you don't want to be around. Like, there's no obligation to anybody that has the same bloodline as you just because they have the same bloodline. Another bit is how trauma shapes your world. And if you continue to be around people or put yourself in situations that are re-traumatizing you, you're forever stuck in a past loop, and how that can like manifest into illness in your body. Not to mention, like, the shit that you're going through, if you don't deal with it, you just pass it down to the next generation. So the generation before us, because they didn't deal with their trauma, we got to deal with it. And then we live through our own traumas and got to deal with that. So it's compounding. We ain't got time to be sick no more, man. Like, we actually want to enjoy this experience we got on this earth. Also, I think millennials are just less attached to struggle. I have a theory that 90s R&B really up the black family, because all of their music was just about struggle love and like begging and all that shit. And it's just like, dog, all this shit is just absolutely pointless. I can be loved without having to go through the bullshit that somebody's putting me through and calling it love. We ain't falling for that no more. And that can go for romantic relationships, but I think for most of us, our starting point is just family and understanding that boundaries have to be placed there. Then there's ideas of self-love and self-concept, and knowing that you will only like achieve as high as your self-concept is, and understanding that your self-worth can't be placed in other people. Everything has to like start inwardly with you. Having all those understandings are like just a few reasons as to why millennials are going no contact, and will probably continue to go no contact. What it's going to require for us to stop going no contact is just change in behavior from, and now I'm specifically talking about older generations, but change in behavior from people like in those generations, uncles, aunts, grandmamas, older cousins, mamas, daddies. Like, it's going to take them understanding how life truly works, and a lot of deprogramming on their end for millennials to stop going no contact.
Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link pinned to the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.